It's 171 Asylum with a video on the update to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. In this video, I'm going to go over a few updates that they've made and the new immersive mode. See if they actually fix the game. So in revisiting Breakpoint, I realized that I'm a little late, but it's something that I was actually starting to lose confidence that they'd actually fix. At its core, I never thought it was a bad game. There was just some pieces that weren't quite finished. Like, for example, as a looter shooter, it wasn't the greatest. As a survival game, it wasn't the greatest. There were just pieces missing. I can't say that I hated the game. I just started to lose interest. The addition of the Terminator content was pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fun running through those. It just wasn't a whole lot of content, honestly. So what have the developers been up to? Well, let's take a look. The first thing that I'd like to go over is the game being a looter shooter. Many people may not have liked this aspect. I personally had mixed feelings. I felt like it was out of place for a Ghost Recon game. On the other hand though, I always felt that getting the blueprint was less of a looter shooter and more like Wildlands. So the irony. You can now turn off the gear score system. The blueprint becomes the way you switch your weapons. You can actually fine-tune the difficulty, make injuries occur more often, limit your bandages, turn off your HUD, and so on. Now, you could do some of that stuff before, but they really let you fine-tune the difficulty now. The game can now be played similar to The Division, or make it more of a survival game. Not the best in survival games, but still make it more of a survival game, or play it like Wildlands. Generally speaking, I really wanted the Wildlands experience whenever I first started playing Breakpoint. They're close, but the main difference is they still haven't added the AI team if you're playing solo. But I guess that could mean that maybe I should just get better at the game or find friends that'll actually play. Maybe this update will help me out with that part. Ammo can now refill when you set up camp. And oh my god, thank you, because scavenging for ammo gets really old, at least for me. Of course, you can always turn this off and make it more difficult, like a survival mode. You can actually make the game more realistic by making it to where you lose ammo if you reload too early. Injuries can either be rare or happen so often that you feel like you're made of glass. That, coupled with limiting your bandages, takes it to a more difficult level. I personally don't love that, but there's an adjustment for everyone. You can have your health rebuild like normal or require a syringe. Drones appear to be easier to take down. I could be wrong, but they just felt more mushy. I feel like it's fitting though, because they were pretty difficult before. I took down a behemoth by myself, so that says a lot to me. I've never loved season or yearly passes. After all, there are other game franchises that don't charge you for DLCs. With Breakpoint's yearly pass, they do add new main missions. So it's good to see that they're still working on it and adding substantial content. I also love the fact that they added Splinter Cell back to Ghost Recon like they did in Wildlands. With Splinter Cell being one of my top favorite games of all time, this is really cool for me. The addition of 2 new specializations are pretty awesome. The Engineer gives you extra damage to drones, and that could be why I felt like they were mushy, and a bonus for grenade launchers. It also lets you supply your team with special ammo as your class item. and gives you a defense drone as a class technique. The defense drone is, it defends you against NPCs that are within a certain range of you. The Echelon class is the Splinter Cell class, basically. You get a higher stealth bonus in the shadows, higher damage with handguns, and you can auto-aim with a handgun. Your class item is a shock pistol, and your class technique is sonar vision. Lets you see where enemies are. Both are pretty interesting, but being a completionist, I really have to max out all of the classes. And I'm just not really sure which one is my favorite at the moment. So, on the update front, the developers are starting to make some promising changes. I feel like they still have ground to travel, but it's starting to grow into the game that I hoped it would be in the beginning. Being able to adjust all of these aspects of the game kind of feels like maybe they're trying to make everyone happy. I can't say I hate that, but as I've said before, Ubisoft is really good at fixing their games, at salvaging games that a lot of people thought were just lost causes. Either way, all in, the update helps, and it's getting much closer to a sequel to Wildlands. The only thing we're really missing is the AI team. They added so many options that adding this as an option kind of feels right. The game is upgraded to a buy due to these updates. If you're in the mood for a decent third-person shooter or a looter shooter, it's not a bad option. As for survival, I really would look elsewhere. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe for more unadulterated game reviews.